So you want to make millions flipping a land? Well, you've come to the right place. Sit down and get comfortable. Let me show you. For those of you that are new here, my name is Sumner Healey. I run a business called landinvestor.co where we help folks start, grow, and scale land investing businesses. Now in today's video, I'm going to show you guys the playbook that I would use if I was a new land investor to start making millions of dollars in the land business. Now before we dive into it, we need to address the elephant in the room. Is it possible for a new land investor to make 7 figures in the land business? The answer is an emphatic yes. The caveat here is you need the right playbook, right? You need to be plugging into the correct system, and then you just need to execute on it. That's why we have folks inside LIA that in their second year will hit 7 figures in a land business. It's not about the time in the market, not about how long you've been land investing. It's about having the right playbook. So if you're serious about building a 7-figure land investing business, here's the first thing. It'll probably take 2 to 3 years with the right playbook. Could be a little bit less, but 2 years is a really good milestone. Now, frankly, if you're doing this on your own, it's gonna take you way longer. I always tell people the reason you invest in education is to compress time and it's to avoid a lot of the potholes, a lot of the dangers along your journey. Because despite what people will tell you, frankly, there are many, many dangers in the land business. There are many things that can end your career early. Many potential minefields that if you step on them, you're probably out of the game or hanging on by a thread. Now, can you do it on your own? For sure. It'll take longer and there's more risks along that journey. So the first step is find education. Join a program, join a coaching program, join a course, whatever it may be, or find a land investor to apprentice under. Either way, if we need to do this in a rapid manner, you need some form of education. This is going to be free. It's going to take hustle. This is going to have cost, and this is probably your best route for expediting the process. The other thing is you need to get in the right rooms, right? You need to be around people that are already doing that. If you're the guy in a group and you want to make 7 figures and no one else is doing it, you're in the wrong group. You need osmosis. You need to be around people that are doing what you want to do, so it starts rubbing off on you and you start changing your worldview to what's possible. So let's say we've already solved step 1. The next thing is you're going to need about 10 to 20 grand. 10,000 is on the low end, 20 grand is on the high end that you need to start with. That's going to give you your first few months of run rate. So theoretically, if you're tapping into the right playbook and you have guidance, you should get your first deal in about 3 to 4 months after starting. That 10 to 20 grand is going to support your marketing. It's going to support your software stack. It should give you all you need to ramp up and get started to get that first deal. And once you do, you pay yourself back, you reinvest that money. Now, if you're doing it on your own, like I did when I first started, your first deal might come in 6 to 12 months. And again, it's going to cost a lot more to go and get that first deal. All things being equal, cost of education and cost of marketing to get your first deal will be cheaper than trying to go for 6 to 12 months to get your first deal and paying for all the marketing in between. I can't tell you how many people reach out to us every week who are on life support in their land business saying, Sumner, I've tried this for 6 months, I've tried this for 12 months, I've invested X into my business and I've gotten no results. That's a scary place to be. Those people will either have to go and get on life support and get revived, or they're going to throw in the towel and be done. And unless you've got a war chest of capital, that's a really, really hard playbook to execute on because it just takes so long. So in the first month, you should be diving in, learning how to pick markets, picking the right markets, aggregating a list of 50, 100, 150 markets that's going to have all of their metrics so you can compare them and start pulling out the best markets from those lists. From there, in your second month, we're going to start mailing those markets. You'll probably do about 5,000 to 7,000 mailers your first month and then slowly scale from there. I would recommend going after what we call mid-market properties that are between 25K and 200K, somewhere in that range. Deals where there's enough margin to have a sizable difference in your business, deals where you're not going to have to do 1,000 of them to have a real impact in your life, and deals that are big enough to go and support outside funding to where you can have someone else fund those deals. And again, there's still enough of the pie to make it make sense for everyone involved. So for example, inside the LIA program, we offer joint venture funding to all the members. So either you need to be in a program where that's offered or you need to go and find that yourself. Either way, you're gonna need capital to fund these deals. There's just no way, even if you've got a war chest of capital, that's gonna make sense for you to run the operations and do the marketing and do the acquisitions with all your own money. It's an almost impossible feat to pull off unless you've got millions of dollars. And for the first 6 months or so, you should be doing about 1 to 3 deals a month. You'll be the solo operator. You'll be pretty much doing everything yourself at that point. You might have Pat Live in your business, which is an answering service to take those initial calls from sellers, but really you're gonna be maxing out. You're gonna be doing almost everything in your business. But the good news is, following this strategy in the right markets, going after the right deals, using outside funding, each deal should be making you 20 to 50 grand a piece. All right, quick interruption. If you are looking to grow a 6 or 7 figure land investing business, you're most likely going to want to check out our land investing scholarship. This gives you access to the LIA group coaching program at discounts never before seen, allows you to work with myself and directly with our team of LIA coaches. If you think you're a good fit for it, I recommend applying. The link is down in the description below. If you are selected, we'll move forward with a call and get everything going. Anyways, back to the video. You know, we've got folks inside the LIA program where their first deal makes them 75K, 100K on their first deal. So even doing 1 to 3 deals a month might not sound like a lot, but it can have a really sizable impact in your business, so long as we're going after the right markets and the right deals. Now, 6 months in, you're gonna start hitting a breaking point, and frankly, you won't be able to continue to scale your marketing. You're gonna start tapping out around 10,000 mailers a month, and that's when you're gonna need to bring on your first hire. I'd recommend bringing on an acquisition manager. And that way you can scale your marketing and they're going to work all those leads, get more yield out of your marketing dollars, and handle really all that process cradle to grave. Now you'll still be helping on dispo unless you're using realtors, and you'll still be kind of in the trenches doing the operations. Now that model, you can run up to a couple $100,000 if you've got a good acquisition manager. So somewhere around that same time, call it 6 to 8 months in, you're going to hire a generalist VA. They'll be kind of like a mini COO in your business. They'll be doing a lot of the operations, KPIs, listing properties, finding title companies, all that jazz. And so really at this point, a lot of your time should be focusing on blessing deals, finding more markets, and getting mail out the door. Towards the end of the year, should be creeping up to about 15,000 mailers a month, and you should end the year by doing $300,000 or $400,000 in your business. And then year 2, it's really more of the same, right? You're scaling marketing, you're bringing in more roles into your business. And again, you're building this kind of conveyor belt or assembly line in your business and planting verticalized roles at each point within that conveyor belt. And then it's just about putting more money into that system, right? More money into marketing, more money into deals. And eventually you want to go and find cheaper capital to fund those deals. So you might want to start going after hard money, or maybe going and bringing in debt via a promissory note or whatever it may be to get cheaper capital. Because when you're first starting, you're going to be using what's called joint venture capital. It's a great place to start, but it gets expensive, right? Giving up 20 or 30% of the equity of every deal can get really costly. And so you don't want to run that model forever, but it's a great place to start because you don't need a track record to tap into that. You just need access to the funders. You need to be in a group where they have them, where you can find one that vets you and they like you, and then they'll start funding your deals. But eventually you want to wean off that joint venture money. And in that second year, a lot of your success is obviously going to become from putting more money into the system, but also honing in on the people on your team, training them, getting better people on your team, right? The difference from a C+ acquisition manager and an A+ acquisition manager could be hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in your business. So once we're putting all this money into deals and all this money into marketing, then to get a better yield from it, to get better results from it, it's really going to come down to having A players on our team, as well as having the right roles on our team. So at that point in your business, it's most likely going to be an acquisition manager, an intake or a lead qualifier that sits underneath that acquisition manager, a generalist VA, kind of like a mini COO, maybe a dispo manager if you're doing that in-house, or if you're using realtors, you don't need a dispo manager, and then maybe some assistance with market selection or building out mailers. Now, for those that are interested, we're launching a data analytics project that goes through and sorts through all the markets in the US to find those with the most demand, and we're providing that as a monthly service. That is launching in June. We're opening up for 50 seats to start. It's going to essentially solve needing a data analyst on your business, at least in this context. Now, as you're deeper into this business, a full-fledged data analytics person will obviously do more than this service, but this will pretty much solve the market selection conundrum that so many land investors find themselves in. And that's really it, right? And again, it's just kind of more of the same, honing your team, more money in the system, executing on the right playbook, and that's it. You see, a lot of people overcomplicate this business. I always say it's simple. It's certainly not easy, but it's simple, and simple wins, right? Making sure that you're looking at this and you're not overcomplicating things. And again, this is where it comes back to, are you executing on the right playbook, right? What is your playbook? Do you even have a playbook? Is buying land at a discount your playbook? If it is, there's a problem there. There's a lot more to this than meets the eye. And so that's how you guys can do it. It might take you 24 months. It might take you 16 months. It might take you 36 months. Who really cares? Doing this in a few years is totally attainable. And I think it's a beautiful thing to understand. We are in a business with unlimited opportunity. And so stop thinking small, start thinking big, start thinking, how far could I take this, right? And that's when things start to get really exciting. I hope you guys like this video. If you want to get in the right room with other 6 and 7 figure land investors, click the link down below to join our Discord. See you guys later.